Hey everybody, back again. I just thought I'd show you what I'm up to for middle of September. Lawns are looking awesome. So, I don't know, basically I've been working on basically the cabin and the machine. The machine I gotta get ready for the winter here, because that's my snow machine that clears my snow. But it took me a while to get at it, but I'm getting at it. But I'm doing everything: the service, tires, all of it. Yeah, I'll show you what I've been up to. I got a couple generators there. I still got a service. So I cleaned today there. I just did both coops, duck coops and the duck coops and chicken coop. So what I did with this outbuilding is I divide it in half. The back half is for Jake and the chickens, and Jake's the duck. That's ducking, we call them. And then in the front here, I keep my babies. Them are all my babies. Well, they're not so baby anymore. They're getting pretty big. I just got 6, but now I should be receiving another 9 because they're probably ready at the incubator. But yeah, so yeah, what I did with the cabin is I lifted it enough so I can get the plumbing underneath. I put electrical box. I put an electrical box in it, right? So that's for a generator feed, and now she's up. Well, I should raise it some more, but it's quite the task. You know what I mean? To raise it properly, it's heavy. It's a heavy building. So I'm probably going to lift it more next year. This year, I think I'm going to leave it as it is because everything's nice and level. The door shuts properly, locks, all that jazz. But my trees are just doing fantastic, right? So anyway, and the grass is phenomenal. It's amazing how you know what I mean? It's just taking some time. Time is everything, I guess, in this thing, right? You know what you mean? Once you turn everything over, it just takes time for everything to grow back. But mind you, I gave it quite the boost. A lot of compost. This is my grapes. And I have one Mary Jane plant this year. This one here is doing really good. I didn't know if I could even grow this stuff, but this is my second year trying, so that's my second plant growing here. But as you can see, all the buds are starting to bud up, right? So that's a nice big tree, and that's it's called King Kush. I should have trimmed it down a little bit, but it's kind of late for that now because it's in bud stage. I'm just going to leave it, get what I get, I guess. But my strawberries, whole tray of those, and my blueberries, and oh, there goes Jake. He's going to go terrorize the ducks. This should be entertaining. He goes every once and chases and goes and mounts one of those females. Now they know he's coming. They're mad. Let's see what happens. Oh, he's turning around. He's playing in the bush there. I think he does it to piss them off. Hey, are you a good boy, Jake? Jake's a good boy. Yeah, Jake's a good boy. Yeah, I think he's gonna go terrorize them. See, they're on there. See, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of the male that's in this, right? So these 3, they hoard the pond. So none of my other ducks can get in this pond, and that means Jake, my duckin'. He's the duck that hangs with the chickens, but he's not scared. He goes and mounts one of those girls anytime he wants. Right? He actually protects the other little ducks as much as he can because he hangs with them too. They're in the front side, they're in the back. He's in the back side, so they share the same coop per se. But yeah, these 3 ducks, they got they're the king of the hill right now. We got to change that. And the only way we're going to change that is by getting rid of that male. He's very dominant. So we're going to do that, and then. I mean, when you look from this side, stuff's growing nice. I didn't do a greenhouse this year, but as you can see, the box of plastic is there. It's ready to go. It's reinforced with fencing, right? So it'll take a bit of a snow load. And I'm probably going to do that all the way around because, you know, we got strong winds and stuff here. If you just make that plastic, I'm going to end up with just ripped plastic by the spring, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm reinforcing that whole thing with fencing. And then when I put the plastic, and then what I'll do is I'll tie one string over in 3 spots, and that'll keep the plastic taut, like keep it tight. So yeah, so what I do is with the shavings and with the coop cleanups and stuff, I just take it and I bring it out here, and what this does is automatically builds soil. So I'm doing this part because this next spring, all this will be all filled in nice grass, right? So for next year's project, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but next year I'll have the greenhouse for sure. Hey, you chickens, get out of the duck food. You get out of there. Get out, move it. I don't want to talk about it. You get out. That's one of the older girls. But yeah, they all hang together, like even the new ducks and stuff and the chickens, they all get along, they all hang out together. But this is my task. As you can see here, I knocked it off my platform the first time with the wheels off. So the back of the machine was sitting on the ground. But basically, I got the wheels off, they're ready to go. I want to bring them to the tire shop. I have new tubes I'm going to put in them. Like these tires they're 50% now, right? But, you know, they're getting to the point where I don't know if they're going to stay sealed through the winter, so I'm going to put the tubes in them and forget about it. So what else I did? Now, I did a clutch adjustment, right? Proper play. I did a clutch adjustment on this. What else did I do? Oh, I greased up a lot of the chain and stuff. We're just doing a basic service, right? So I'm getting ready to, over the next couple months, what I'm going to do is, once I'm in the cabin here, I'm going to clean it up, respray it, order a decal kit. The decal kit for this is $200 and some odd. It ain't cheap. But, yeah. So, yeah, I'm still doing, there's the other side. This tire is a little worse. It's got some chunks and stuff out of it. But this Ditch Witch, I'll tell you what, it's a pretty slick machine. You know, it's got a bulletproof transmission. It's the T98. Ford's been using it forever. It's been used right from antique cars right up until, I don't know if they put anything in it, but T98 is still made, but you can get parts for this dime a dozen. Okay, so it's all run by inner shaft, right, which transfers. There's your fork, right? This transfers the ratio, which is, you know, your dig or your plow, because you got 3 different settings. You've got dig, plow, and mobile. So that's what's going on there. But yeah, easy to work on. I mean, this is a Deutz diesel. It's made in Germany. 65 horsepower or 66 horsepower or something. Working horsepower is 65. So it's only got 1,300 hours. This machine has no hours. Has 1,349 hours on it. So less than 1,350. It's in real good shape. So what I'm going to do right now is my last job on this machine. I ended up breaking that end of that ram off, which is, they're just welded on anyway, right? So, but thing is, this plate goes on to the bottom of this plate, as you can see underneath. So that has to be welded to the bottom of that. So in order to do that, I gotta pull that bolt, pull this shaft out, and separate the plow off the machine. Then this will be off the machine and the plate now can be welded to that, you know. But, you know, for a simple ram braking, it's wild, because to weld that ram properly, I gotta take it out. And it's a bitch. It's just 2 E-clamps, but where I have to take it out from is up top here, right? And to get in there, it's below those hoses right there. It's it's below this line right here. It's below that line right there. So I gotta pull that pin. But anyway, I can do it, not a big deal, but I have to do the back tires first, right? Because then I'm gonna take this bucket, I'm gonna put down pressure, and I'm gonna lift the front of this machine. So this blade will actually, I'm gonna lift it up first so it holds it, because the one side's still attached. So, but when I lift this whole machine up, I'll be able to block this, I'll be able to push the blade down in the down motion over there with the controls, push it down, and then that'll leave these two parts separated. So then maybe I can pull that bolt that's in behind that arm and just take that square part off with the top part, take that in, have that all straightened and welded really good. So I don't want this to come apart again, right? Mind you, the stuff I was working with it there was pretty nasty, but anyway, and that's the end of it. So that's the end of it. That's the end of it. So it just sits in there, right? There's the weld, end of the ram. It's welded onto that. So there's your Zerk, your Zerk for greasing it, and then this is your locking plate up top. So basically, this is the right side to push the ram to the left. So this moves this ram this way. So anyway, that's what I'm working on right now. But I pulled all the wheels, pulled all the things. So now when I got all these plates and everything off now, I'm gonna pull all these plates, and then I'm gonna sandblast anywhere there's rust, any of the shit. It's gonna be gone. This machine is going to look brand new. It's going to have a brand new sticker package on it, right? So, as far as everything else, the machine does and works as it should. Everything is, this machine, man, I'm telling you, it's like, it's an 88, but it's fucking brand new, right? I mean, there's no hours on it. There's only 1,300 hours on it, 1,350 hours, which is nothing. I don't think that vibratory plow on there has been, I don't know, used maybe half a dozen times in its whole life, I bet you. This vibratory plow, so basically this just sits on the ground, eh? And it rips. So this shank, the shank that does the ripping or goes through the ground, this shank is, I don't know, a foot. So it's really not even a foot. It'll go down, well, it sits on the ground. It'll go, yeah, I guess it's a foot. This whole shank sits in the ground. This just sits on the ground. And this here, then it vibrates, right? Vibrates, and all that shank does is cut all the roots and everything. So you can have a cable truck in front, and you could just put the machine on creep, slow, whatever, and you're ripping through everything, and it's laying the cable at the same time. So with this machine, you can lay any type of lighting cable, like electricity, plumbing, blah, blah, blah. So the shank will make an inch, anything from an inch or inch and a half cut while it's vibrating. And, you can lay down whatever pipe, even for plumbing, you can make a quick job of it with that. With this here, this is going to give you, 8 inches. 8 inches to a foot, depending on your creep speed, right? So that's how it cuts and how, but, even two guys can sit on this machine and operate it. One guy could sit here and drive, and the guy on the backhoe could, you could be doing it for land clearing, like clearing stumps. So poof, poof. So then the guy's driving, boom, backs up, goes to the next stump. The guy on the backhoe there, boom, rips that stump up. Boom, the guy driving goes to the next stump. So this machine clears stumps real fast. Digs trenches, straight lines, digs holes, straight lines, and it does it really, really fast. So that's what I'm working on right now, and I'm still doing this. I'm still working on this, but I wanted to get on that stove, so that's another job I just did. I refinished that stove. New stove I'm going to put in this cabin. So anyway, it's taken some time, but man, the wood that I got is just like an inch too long, an inch and a bit, 2 inches too long, right? So most of this wood, excuse my language, I got to cut down, and it's tough because it's a lot of work. So, and then I got to resplit it because it's too big for either of my stoves. Like, this stuff is serious. Anyway, I think that's it. This is insulated stuff I'm going to use on coops and what have you. I don't know. I'm going to probably build a shop for this for over the winter. Maybe just cover this machine. With the tires done, I'll be able to move it and do wherever I want with it. But I want to maybe put it in front of there and maybe cover it with some kind of a temporary shelter, like I hate to say Shelter Logic, but I got one sitting over there, and it's a 12 by 20 Shelter Logic. It's a full building, and it's just sitting there in the back of the ladders there. You can see it, but I got to build a wood frame because the frame got wrecked years ago. But anyway, that's what I'm going to use to cover that. So that's going to get an all new fresh paint, all new sticker package, all new service, all new everything. Like, everything's going to be good. You know, I was going to put new tires, but you know, at $400 a tire, why? They're still 50% or more, right? Just put tubes in them so they don't leak, because these are tubeless tires, right? Those tires in the front don't have tubes in them, but I'm going to do the back ones, and then I'll leave the front ones, because the front ones I can do at any time because it's not hard to jack up the front. The problem is getting the back up because it's so heavy, and that ram, there's only one small ram on that trencher, so it's not really enough to lift that. It lifts the machine up, but it doesn't lift it up high enough off the ground. So with the bucket though, I can lift the whole machine up like a wheelie style, and that's good. So I'm not worried about the front tires. The back tires were my concern, and them were the ones I needed to put tubes in because they were the ones that kept going flat from sitting. Because this machine doesn't get used a lot, right? It's only got 1,350 hours, and it's 1988. So the jobs that you do with this machine don't take long. They pay well, and you're not wearing out your machine and stuff. So you pick and choose your jobs wisely. You get the best paying jobs, you do those jobs, period. Because this machine, even though it's easy to work on and everything's easily replaced, they don't make these like this anymore. Everything nowadays just costs you thousands and thousands of dollars to get serviced. This machine here, anything on this machine I can do myself. Doesn't matter what it is. This machine I just wish I had an overhead crane for lifting stuff. Like, that would be a much easier job if I had a way to hold that stuff. You know, I could use its own bucket and stuff. I could use chains and bring it up with that and stuff, but I don't like that. That's kind of pecker rigging. I like to separate that properly from the machine to have it welded up, because I don't want, you know, there's hydraulic fluids and stuff down there. I sprayed that down because I'm going to clean all that, but I want that welded, and I want that welded properly. And that's the problem. When they welded it last time, they welded it while it was still on the machine, and as far as I'm concerned, that's half-ass, and that's not the way to do it. So do it right the first time. That way it's not breaking on you on the next job. But other than that, this machine works as it should. And as far as I'm concerned, it's $1 million machine. You can't like 4 machines in one. You can't beat it, right? This is the only one like it in the Maritimes too. So, you know, depending on what kind of condition, you know, my U-joints and everything are in underneath, I'll know that next week after I lift it up. But I'm going to make sure everything's done. So then I'm going to pick and choose the jobs wisely with it, because, you know, this machine, you don't replace it. You just keep fixing it. So that's where we're at. But anyway, folks, have a good day. We'll talk soon. Bye now.